There's one fella who's shown up from Scunthorpe in a 10-gallon Stetson hat, and he's floating coins around in the best game of shove halfpenny I've ever happened across.
In addition to that all-time classic game of shove halfpenny, in today's Stuview TV video I'll be looking at another 10 shows from British television of the 1970s that are now either forgotten or overlooked today. How many of these do you remember? A lesser remembered sitcom starring the legendary David Jason, Lucky Fella ran for a single series of 13 episodes on ITV in the autumn of 1976. Although the series did well in the ratings, it was never really repeated on mainstream TV, leading to it being unfairly forgotten today. Even Sir David Jason himself has referred to Lucky Fella as being the unknown comedy series. In Lucky Fella, Jason is Shorty Mepstead, a shy young man who lives with his mother and a womanising brother. Shorty falls in love with Kath, played by Cheryl Hall. Unfortunately, Kath seems to have fallen for Shorty's brother. If Lucky Fella was better remembered today, the wonderful bubble car that Shorty drives in the series would probably have a place on classic TV car lists, next to a certain three-wheel van. All 13 episodes of Lucky Fella are available on DVD, although it is now very hard to find.
Oh, Bernard. Oh, that's lovely. Turn round. Oh, here. Have you got a date?
Well?
With a young lady?
What?
Poor dear me, Mum, this egg's off. Poor. No, it's not the egg. It's him. It's you smell.
It's male perfume.
Despite being written by Dad's Army co-creator Jimmy Perry and featuring a top-notch cast of Peggy Mount, Hugh Lloyd and Pat Coombs, the curiously titled Lollipop Loves Mr. Mole is almost completely forgotten today. Rather than a lack of quality being the reason for the series being overlooked, the fact that only 2 of 13 episodes still survive today is more likely the deciding factor. The marvellous Peggy Mount and ever-dependable Hugh Lloyd play the married couple of the title, otherwise known as Maggie and Reg. While Reg is fairly timid and eager to please, Maggie is rather more formidable. Their lives are thrown into turmoil when Reg's work-shy brother Rex and his hypochondriac wife Violet, played by the brilliant Pat Coombs, move into the spare room. Although the series was made in colour, the 2 surviving episodes are only available in black and white. They have been released on DVD, but once again are hard to find.
In the days when boys and girls went to bed at 6 o'clock and never watched television because there wasn't any, there were 3 brothers. They were called Tuffy, Smarty and Mouse. Smarty, because he had answers for all sorts of questions. Tuffy, because he said he wanted to be a soldier. And Mouse, because he liked cheese.
A long-forgotten children's adventure series from 1971, Grasshopper Island told the story of 3 brothers who decide to escape their dreary life by escaping to a far-off island. Although they believe themselves to be alone, the island is home to eccentric grasshopper expert Cornelius Button, played by Julian Orchard, and his housekeeper Lupus, played by Patricia Hayes. Also appearing in the opening 2 episodes of the series was Carry On film legend Charles Hawtrey. If you're curious about Grasshopper Island, then the series is available on DVD, but becoming ever more scarce. Broadcast on BBC One in November and December 1975, The Legend of Robin Hood ran for just 6 episodes and is perhaps the least remembered of the many television tellings of the Robin Hood story. In the title role was Martin Potter, an actor whose career didn't really take off as much as expected after the series ended. More familiar names in the cast included Diane Keane as Lady Marian and the great Paul Darrow as the Sheriff of Nottingham. A slower-paced, more serious version of the classic tale, The Legend of Robin Hood, can be seen on YouTube and on DVD. A co-production between the BBC and US television network ABC, the short-lived Moonbase 3 ran for just 6 episodes in 1973. A science fiction series which favoured realism over aliens, the series wasn't a success, probably due to there being a lack of any real excitement. A brave attempt at creating something different within the sci-fi genre, Moonbase 3 just didn't catch on with viewers and was quickly dropped after its initial run. Although the series was released on DVD, it is now very hard to find. Broadcast on the BBC between 1970 and 1972, sci-fi drama Doomwatch was a series ahead of its time in terms of its environmental subject matter. Nicknamed Doomwatch, the aim of the Department for the Observation and Measurement of Scientific Work was to protect the world from any scientific research which could prove harmful to humankind, such as toxic waste, pollution and the exploitation of animals. A ratings winner in its day, 38 episodes of Doomwatch were broadcast over 3 series. A film version was released in 1972. Only 24 television episodes still exist today. Both that TV series and the film are available on DVD. A hit sitcom broadcast on ITV between 1974 and 1977, The Squirrels was written by Rising Damp creator Eric Chappell. Set in the accounts department of a TV rental company, The Squirrels featured a strong cast which included Ken Jones, Patsy Rowlands and Bernard Hepton. Featuring plenty of office politics and in-house bickering, as well as more traditional visual gags, The Squirrels proved to be a winner with audiences at the time, but is now strangely overlooked when discussion turns to 1970s British sitcoms. The surviving 22 episodes of The Squirrels are available on DVD, with many also on YouTube.
My name is Keane. I don't expect it means anything to you. I'm the new managing director.
You
Well, I'm Mason.
Oh.
This is my wife.
Oh, I'm delighted to meet you, yes. Actually, I was looking for Mr. Fletcher.
Oh, yeah, well, he's in there.
John? Thank you, Albert. Oh. Mr. Fletcher? I don't know whether you were expecting me or not.
Now, just one moment. You can't come barging in here. Can't you see I'm in conference?
I beg your pardon.
If you want to work at International Rentals, you have to show some respect.
You tell him, John.
Yes. Anyway, I wouldn't employ you.
Do you know who I am?
I don't care who you are. You're not my type.
Not your type.
Now, get out of here before I put my toe behind you, little pipsqueak.
Pipsqueak. I happen to be the new managing director of this company. I'll see you this afternoon, Fletcher, when you've got rid of your drinking companion. Little
It's funny when he said he was the new managing director.
Perhaps he is.
Then, who are you?
Well, I'm the new cleaning man.
The 1978 television adaptation of Enid Blyton's famous 5 books is more overlooked today rather than completely forgotten, but I wanted to include it here as it doesn't often get a mention when it comes to discussing children's television series of the 1970s.
Wherever there's adventure to be found, just a clue or a secret message, bring the famous 5 around. Whenever there's a mystery to be solved, up in the ruined castle or down its marker's cove, we are the famous 5. Julian, Dick and Anne, George and Timmy the dog. We are the famous 5. We're coming back to you whenever there's time, time after time.
While the books were mainly set in the 40s and 50s, this television version updated the setting to the 70s, although the stories remain the same. Each episode featuring the summertime adventures of Julian, Dick, Anne, George and dog Timmy was based on original Enid Blyton stories. After 2 series of gentle escapades and lashings of ginger beer, Southern Television were keen to make a 3rd, but were denied the opportunity after the Enid Blyton Foundation refused permission for new original scripts to be written. The DVD of the famous 5 is now very difficult to find, but all episodes are available to watch here on YouTube. Another children's television show from the 70s that is more overlooked rather than being totally forgotten. Once again, I wanted to still include it as this wonderful series just doesn't seem to get the praise today that it so richly deserves. The brainchild of the great Michael Bentine, a founding member of the Goons, Potty Time enjoyed a hugely successful run on ITV from 1973 to 1980. The potties of the title were distinctive puppets whose faces were obscured by masses of facial hair. With Michael's help, they reenacted famous moments from historical fact and fiction in their own unique potty way. All of the voices were provided by Michael Bentine, who also wrote the series. If you want to relive some wonderfully innocent television moments from your childhood, Michael Bentine's Potty Time is available on DVD and can be seen on YouTube.
There's one fellow who's shown up from Scunthorpe in a 10-gallon Stetson hat, and he's floating coins around in the best game of shove halfpenny I've ever happened across.
Only in the 1970s could there be a television show introduced by Fred Truman, complete with pint of beer and pipe in hand, featuring tournaments of various pub games including darts, bar billiards, bar skittles, table football, and the best games of shove halfpenny you've ever happened across.
Now then, just slipped out for a minute from the biggest bonanza of sporting skill I've ever clapped eyes on. Down here at the Queen's Hotel in Leeds, we've got 60 odd of the best players I've ever seen in my life. None of your Charltons and your Geoffrey boycotts, mind you. This bunch of lads are kings that those sports should get up and down the land in every pub.
There was even a bit of physicality in there too, in the form of arm wrestling contests. Devised by legendary darts commentator Sid Waddell, Indoor League proved to be strangely compelling viewing and ran for 5 years between 1973 and 1978. As with many of the shows featured today, Indoor League is available on DVD but not easy to find. Some episodes are available right here on YouTube. Which of the shows featured today do you remember watching? Do you have any favourites amongst them? Please let me know in the comments. As always, many thanks for watching, and do join me next time for more nostalgic goodness.